Hello everybody, Diana, Robert, and I will be giving you background information on Kenneth Rex Ross. Kenneth Rex Ross was born in South Bend, Indiana on December 22nd, 1905. The poet and Japanese translator was the son of a pharmaceutical salesman by the name of Charles Rex Ross and Delia Reed. After expulsion from high school and spending a prison term for partial ownership of a cat house from 1923 to 1924, he backpacked across the country several times and also visited Paris and New York. Most of his work was considered to be love-type poetry. Rex Ross wrote a large number of literary and cultural criticism essays, along with his poems, which consisted of some translations of Japanese haikus. During the 1930s, he stopped hitchhiking and went to school to study communism. He joined many communist parties, such as the John Reed's Club. In 1938, he switched his political attention to a more nonviolent approach, believing that violence and war were not the answer. In the late 1940s to the early 1950s, he began to pave the groundwork for the San Francisco Renaissance. He was also one of the major influences on the Beat generation and was dubbed Father of the Beats by Time magazine. Throughout the 1960s, he continued his beliefs in nonviolence and wrote several poems and short stories about the civil rights movement. It is said that Rex Ross's contributions energized the post-war American poetry. In this video, we will give you information on what we thought were the two most important events within his lifetime. The first will be his role in the San Francisco Renaissance and what it was all about. The second topic will be the Beat generation and how he was dubbed Father of the Beats.
In the late 1940s, in the midst of World War II, an era later to be known as the San Francisco Renaissance began. It all started in the Bay Area. With war going on, poetry was suffering. Kenneth Rex Ross had his own vision for poetry. At this point in time, many of the poets were not united by a certain aesthetic. Instead, they shared a mournful longing for this lost world. Their writing thus expressed an attempt to restore this lost world. Their poems were mainly confessional and were evocative of their surroundings. Being an elder poet, Rex Ross was a friend and a mentor to many of the Beat poets. Usually, he held gatherings to discuss new ideas and poetry, helping the others along the way.
After the Second Renaissance, Kenneth Rexroth was given the title Godfather of the Beats because of all his involvements with poetry and the Cellar Jazz Club. He tried to elevate common consciousness within the group. The Beat generation was formed by a group of writers in the 1950s, shortly after World War II. The major founders were Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg. Some of their focuses were experimentation with drugs and the idealizing of uncensored means of expression and being. They claim to have used romantic poems as some of the major influences in their work. Although considered the godfather of the Beats, he did not like the title because of their lack of discipline inside the organization. He was not pleased with the rapid rise of popularity towards the group. Although Rex Roth wasn't fully supported, he still respected it.